Greetings, esteemed viewers and dear compatriots. As it is well known, during the revival of the new epoch of the powerful state, under the wise leadership of our esteemed President, who steadfastly follows the great initiatives of our national leader, Hero Arkadaş, large-scale reforms are being implemented in all spheres of public life. This not only ensures the prosperity of our united people, but also consistently fosters global peace and mutually beneficial cooperation in the region. In this regard, the declaration of the year 2025 as the International Year of Peace and Trust at the initiative of Turkmenistan is a source of great pride for all of us. This motto, inspired by our hero Arkadaş's profound wisdom, embodies the deep essence of our permanent neutrality and the significance of peace, friendship and brotherliness, as expressed poetically in the remarkable poem of our hero Arkadaş, Turkmenistan, Motherland of Peace and Trust. Moreover, it was adopted based on the valuable guidance of our national leader. The slogan of this year serves as a foundation for great achievements. Esteemed viewers, in today's program, we will discuss these topics in detail. Our guest for today's broadcast is the Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General for Central Asia and Head of the United Nations Regional Center for Preventive Diplomacy for Central Asia, Mr. Kaha Imnadze. Mr. Kaha Imnadze, welcome to our edition of this program. Mr. Imnadze, as we know, in 2025, Turkmenistan will celebrate the 30th anniversary of its permanent neutrality, and at the same time, the United Nations will mark its 80th anniversary. This gives us great confidence that this remarkable year will truly live up to its name and be filled with significant historical events. The international recognition of our country's permanent neutrality status by the United Nations on 2 occasions highlights its growing importance year by year. Mr. Imnadze, in this regard, could you please share your views on cooperation between Turkmenistan and the United Nations Regional Center for Preventive Diplomacy for Central Asia on ensuring peace, sustainable development in the Central Asian, as well as on expanding regional and international cooperation?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me here and inviting me to this program. Well, as you mentioned, United Nations Regional Center for Preventive Diplomacy for Central Asia is a regional entity. We are a special political mission in our UN ecosystem designed for the region. And the very fact that we are based here in Ashgabat in Turkmenistan also underlines the importance of Turkmenistan's permanent neutrality. Our work, as I mentioned, is regional, and we work in very close partnership with all the countries, and first and foremost with Turkmenistan, on the issues that have regional significance, that is common to everyone in this region, where we also need cooperation among the 5 countries to answer to those pressing challenges that one country alone. While we work regionally, we also work with the individual countries of the region based on the pressing needs and priorities. And specifically to mention Turkmenistan, we worked very closely with Turkmenistan, the very first counter-terrorism strategy for the years 2020-2024 including, and last year we worked very closely with Turkmenistan for the next cycle of the same strategy. We first took the global counter-terrorist strategy and in close cooperation with the countries of the region designed the regional strategy, and in close cooperation with Turkmenistan designs the national strategy. Now in the same vein, we are working with Turkmenistan to design the action plan for the region that our work is based on for the next cycle, for the next 5 years, and this will be something that we'll be working very closely throughout this year. What is important is for me to once again underscore Turkmenistan's commitment to strengthening regional ties, to strengthening preventive diplomacy, and this is all based on Turkmenistan foreign policy of permanent neutrality. And Turkmenistan remains a very reliable and a valid partner of the United Nations when it comes to that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nadza, for your in-depth answer and your insightful remarks on cooperation between the countries of the Central Asian region, especially cooperation between Turkmenistan and other countries. Throughout history, the Turkmen people have always remained committed to principles of peace and humanism, and the constructive nature of Turkmen neutrality built upon these principles is reflected in our country's multifaceted diplomacy. Preventive diplomacy is one of such approaches. As we all know, in 2007, with the initiative of our hero Arkadagh and the support of all countries in the region, as well as United Nations member states, the international community approved the decision to establish the United Nations Regional Center for Preventive Diplomacy for Central Asia in Ashgabat. The noble principles that form the core of our permanent neutrality continue to flourish in the revival of the new epoch of the powerful state. In this regard, could you please share your views on the significance of the resolution Zone of Peace, Trust and Cooperation of Central Asia, adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2024 upon the initiative of Turkmenistan?
Well, thank you for this question. Last year, indeed, was an important year with regard to that resolution. What is important to notice about the resolution was that it underscores the importance of peace and trust within the region. Therefore, when upon initiative of Turkmenistan and with the support of all 5 countries, the United Nations adopted such a resolution, that was yet another manifestation of the commonality of the region. And of course, that also underscored the mandate of our center, the UNRCCA, of which you have mentioned, which has been here in the region and in Turkmenistan for the last 18 years. And our mandate is to act as a platform where all 5 countries, and if needed others, could come for the benefit of the region to address the pressing challenges of the region. And
thank you, Mr. Nadza. Indeed, Turkmenistan has always strived to uphold the principles of peacekeeping, which is evidenced by the policy led by our national leader, Hero Arkadagh, and our esteemed president, Arkadagli, Hero Serdar. Turkmenistan strives to uphold the principles of peace, and in this regard, could you please tell us about the events to be held on the occasion of International Year of Peace and Trust 2025 and the work to be carried out this year?
Well, you mentioned the International Year of Peace and Trust, yet another initiative of Turkmenistan, supported by the entire region and, of course, the United Nations. The Year of Peace and Trust is an important year, particularly now, again, building on the solid foundation of all the resolutions that we adopted previously, because that year we need to enhance the regional partnerships within our region. This is not just a resolution, it's a fundamental document that echoes very well the processes that we have in the United Nations, which is the new agenda for peace of the Secretary General, the Pact for the Future that was adopted by the international community. So the ethos of the resolution that we just mentioned and the processes that are going on in our United Nations ecosystem are very harmonious to each other. And this, of course, comes from a good understanding of the need for such resolutions in the region, first and foremost by the leaderships of these countries and by the very wise approach from their part. What we are going to do in this regard, of course, we're going to concentrate on our mandated areas and have series of discussions with regard to preventive diplomacy, the role of preventive diplomacy, the role of dialogue, and we're going to have a number of high-level meetings, conferences in that regard, engaging very closely with our Turkmen counterparts as well as other regional counterparts. We're going to continue working on the issues related to adverse change of climate and its adverse effects on the regional security, melting of glaciers, water scarcity related issues, as well as women, peace and security and youth peace and security agenda. And we're going to work very closely with the Institutes of Strategic Studies and the Institutes of International Relationship, which are our traditional partners. Now, in complex, all these work providing security related aspects also helps the sustainable development, because these days you cannot differentiate which starts first. It all goes hand in hand. The three pillars of the United Nations really are interconnected and work together.
Thank you, Mr. Mnadze, once again for your fascinating insights. It is truly evident that the international community highly values and strongly supports United Nations initiatives. As part of these efforts, bilateral relations, including cooperation of Turkmenistan with the United Nations and other major organizations, continue to expand. This further elevates Turkmenistan's international standing and demonstrates broad support for its positive foreign policy, which aims to achieve the sustainable development goals while ensuring global prosperity and security throughout the region. Mr. Mnadze, we sincerely appreciate you accepting our invitation and taking the time to participate in today's program. We wish you great success in your important work to strengthen international cooperation. Thank you. Esteemed viewers, dear compatriots, with this, we conclude today's edition of our program. May our national leader, Hero Arkadağ, and our esteemed President Arkadağlı, Hero Serdar, enjoy sound health, long lives, and success in all of their endeavors. Thank you.